Hi, give me a minute.
Yeah, no worries. Today might still be late because I don't think I saw anything else on the agenda.
I think this one gonna be quick because I don't see anyone else.
Yeah. I am happy to wait for another minute or two. And actually, I mean, it's 10:03 already. I say having hopped on a bit late, but I'm also happy to just like discuss the thing from last time.
Okay.
Yeah, so I think the stuff I got last time when I was asking around about like sending email to the deaf list, which sorry for not getting back earlier, I just added a note like this morning, was like it sounds like that list should be open email according to like the rest of my teammates. I also understand if you want the like notice to come from like a leader chair or something. Oh, hey man. Light
Hey.
agenda today, I think.
Cool. Sorry.
Yeah.
Hey.
Okay. Yeah, so feel free to last minute add some stuff to the agenda, folks, if you want. Otherwise, I think we just have the one thing from last time since the meeting got punted. So notice about greenhouse shutdown. My understanding basically is like it sounds like anybody can send a notice about that, but if like or not, if you don't want to send the like email directly or something, I think I'm either happy to send it or like find somebody to send a notice. I think the other question was just like it sounded like there was a bit of confusion over whether a notice needed to be sent about this or not. So is this more of like a friendly heads up, or is this more of like a we definitely need to notify folks before turning that down?
Well, this is just a notification because we disable usage of greenhouse in basically testing for most, and I spend some time doing cleanup about basic preset related to greenhouse. So the idea is to send a notification and say we're gonna shut down the service and basically delete all the resources. I don't know if on the Google side this is something we want to do, but for on the community infrastructure, I would like to shut down everything, any resource related to greenhouse by end of the month, because it's been disabled since May. So I think it's fair to just send a notice and say,
I actually think we're okay at this point to just shut it down. We've reached out to the specific projects that we know are using it, and if someone else was using it and wants to know, I mean, the build process should be durable to the cache being missing, and they can always come file a bug with test infra or SIG-Kates infra, Kates.io, and let us know that like, hey, they want that back. But at this point, we shouldn't have any ongoing usage, and no one should be broken by it being gone. It should just fall back to local, as if it had a cache miss, which
I know
was
COPS folks basically keep that label for some old version. I think COPS 1.1, they basically decide to maintain the label for whatever reason. So the idea is to just give a notice to in the dev list and say, oh, we shut down greenhouse by end of the month. If you have an issue, reach out. Just that. So now we talk about just be asked or like, oh, if a tech lead of C-Check can do that, that would be great. Or I can do that if needed.
I think we're fine to just spin it down.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that mailing all of dev is actually probably a little bit too noisy for this. It shouldn't affect most of dev, and if anyone is impacted, I mean, it's just a little bit slower build. And that's always possible using this because we made no guarantees about longevity of the cache. When Kubernetes was using it and building, I mean, we were flushing the cache on like at least a daily basis just because of the volume. Even with throwing like 3 terabytes at it, just the amount of like poorly cached artifacts that fill it. Most of it was being flushed very frequently. So if you're a smaller project building infrequently, you might not have ever really seen a lot of benefit to trying to use this, since it was a shared instance. And you'd have a lot less accesses than the things that were caching well in Kubernetes.
Okay, I will shut down the cluster, the node pool of Greenhouse by end of the month. So. I think that's it for me.
Cool. Thanks, Arnaud. Yeah. I also plus one. I think we should. This is overdue.
Yeah, thanks for doing this. Yeah, for what it's worth, I think what Ben has said lines up with what I've heard from like some other folks like Cole or whatnot. It's just like it sounds like the usage is non-problematic and can just be turned down without notifying. But that's awesome.
There's also, I mean, we know at maximum how many projects we need to contact just by searching the Oregon finding that, like, Basil is in like COPS and I think that might be it at this point. Google Cloud Provider GCP. I don't think any other project has any remaining on current development.
Yeah, but so basically I did some in May, like just before in KubeCon, I went over basically testing to look at which project used those labels and try to do some cleanup. I think they are like storage still using the preset for this, but because the preset is disabled at the moment, I didn't hear anyone complain about it until now. So I think we just fine to clean up the rest and shut down everything.
I'm slightly wrong. There's 1 or 2 other projects that have it, but they don't appear to be using the cache. I'm just using our code search to check for build files.
Okay.
etcd-atom repo infra still provides it because it was itself a Bazel package. And then there's some stuff in vendor which is ignorable. Yeah, I don't think any of these are like actively, maybe KubeBuilder, but they're not. The labels that you're seeing everywhere are just bad copy paste inheritance on the jobs. When I took a pass last time, just lots and lots and lots of CI jobs. They were also still setting like the local scratcher, and just, I mean, people just copy over all the labels because, I mean, it's not like they're well documented or anything to begin with, so, or very discoverable unless you kind of intimately know prow config.
That's why a notice would be, I suggest a notice, because we don't have full scope of people using that. A notice would investigate the entire code base for over the 4 GitHub organization. Just a notice might be great to just basically say to people, we shut down Greenhouse, make sure you don't use that in your Bazel configuration.
Yeah, I mean, these aren't active. Like, like for example, KubeBuilder has some Bazel files, but their workspace file has not been touched in 4 years. So like they're definitely not actually building that. There's no way. I mean, that would mean they haven't updated Go in 4 years, for example. Actually it says 5 years. So yeah, no.
That's a lot of versions back.
Yeah. They're using an incredibly ancient rules Go, which means that they won't have support for current versions. Yeah. These are not concerning. And on the off chance something is, I mean, we have all the config in Git. It's very easy to deploy again. And I mean, even if they were, at some point we've just got to cut it off. It's reasonably expensive to run, and we kind of never intended it for it to be for these projects. We just permitted it. I spun it up, like I built this and I spun it up for Kubernetes, and then we also pilot it with test infra, and then I think cops picked it up. But it was always kind of like, this is going to be best effort and you're going to get fairly stomped by Kubernetes. So yeah, it's fine. This
Okay,
is
cool.
not a critical service.
Okay, that's all for me.
Great, sounds good. Yeah, I think that is it for the agenda, unless somebody has a last minute thing they want to bring up.
The elephant in the room. That's great.
I mean, I'm happy to talk about test grid. I don't have any specific item on it, but if you have questions or anything, feel free.
Yeah, I will drop an idea about that in the test grid Slack channel.
Oh, heck yeah, then. Yeah, part of the other thing is like I can say that like actually I haven't been doing a lot in the open source side of it recently, except for like some random fixes, but I do intend to try it and make it easier for folks to like either learn more or contribute in general, regardless whether it's like internal or open source. So yeah, definitely hit me up about ideas or anything like that.
Well, the idea is kind of simple. Rebuild test grid in the open from scratch, because it's not world wide internally, but open source it. So the idea is to make it like an internship covered by Linux Foundation / CSF Foundation program. Make it like an internship and trying to build something in the open.
Oh, interesting.
And
Yeah, I'm happy to discuss that more.
okay.
I can probably also bring Sean in.
LFX.
Oh, good.
Sorry, I'm all camera off. I've got a load. I've got power failure on this side. I go to the tag contributor from LFX quite often, and they're keen to have all sorts of mentor things going. So if you want somebody to work on that as a mentee, and they actually do pay them a stipend for it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is not something I'm like super familiar with. So if either of you have like links or something to take a look at, that would be great. But yeah, definitely happy to discuss more.
It's basically mentorship is every 3 months. So the next slot is next year, March of next year. So we have a lot of time before we can kick off officially.
Cool. Yeah, that I think we're starting to try and plan for like next year and whatnot. So cool.
Okay.
Yeah, it's kind of like an LF specific lighter weight summer of code.
Got it. Awesome.
I have to drop for SIG release. See you.
Yeah, go for it. See ya. Yeah, and I think similarly we can probably cut this off unless somebody has anything else they want to discuss.
Nothing from me. Thanks. Have a nice day.
Thanks, Michelle. Happy Tuesday, folks.
Thanks, y'all. See ya.